So we're back for another deep dive into the world of construction and renovation. And this time we're revisiting a company we've talked about before, Lucky Construction.
Right. Those folks over in the Netherlands.
Yeah, they've really made a name for themselves, haven't they?
They really have. Especially with those load-bearing wall removals and steel supports.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to dig into today. Their whole process, we've actually got a detailed outline of their 5-step process here.
Okay.
And it honestly pretty amazing how they bring together like serious engineering with what the client wants, their vision for the space.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance, isn't it? Making sure it's structurally sound, but also meets the client's needs.
Totally. So first things first, they don't just like barge in and start swinging sledgehammers.
No, absolutely not. Safety first, always.
Right. They start with a super thorough consultation and assessment phase.
Right. That's where they really get to understand what the client's hoping to achieve, like what they picture for the space.
Yeah, like what's their dream for this renovation?
Exactly. But they also need to figure out everything about the building itself. How old is it? What kind of constructions is it? Are there any like weird structural quirks they need to be aware of?
Makes sense. You can't just treat every building the same, right?
Exactly. Every building's got its own personality, its own history.
Yeah. So after they've gathered all that information, all those assessments, how do they turn that into like a real plan?
Okay, so that's where the technical planning kicks in.
Oh, okay.
And this is where it gets serious, Certified engineers, they got to certify it in the Netherlands. They come in and they do all these really intricate calculations.
Like what kind of calculations?
Well, they need to figure out how the load is distributed.
Right. Because you're taking away a wall that's holding up the house.
Exactly. So they have to figure out where that load is going to go once the wall is gone.
Right. So the rest of the house doesn't like cave in.
Precisely. And then they got to figure out what kind of temporary supports they'll need during the demolition.
Okay.
And then they design this custom steel structure that will basically become the new support system.
So it's kind of like building a bridge inside the house?
Yeah, it's a great analogy. A super strong steel bridge that'll hold everything up.
Wow, that's incredible. So they really are thinking about the long-term stability here.
Oh yeah, for sure. And this steel structure, it's got to be perfectly integrated with what's already there.
So it all works together seamlessly?
Right. They even take into account things like the building's settling over time, potential movement.
Wow, it's way more complex than I ever imagined.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Okay, so then comes the actual demolition, right?
The part everyone's probably picturing.
Yeah, but it's not just, smashing stuff up.
Right. It's got to be controlled, obviously.
Absolutely. They use all this specialized equipment, to make sure the wall removal is really precise.
So there's no risk to the rest of the structure.
Exactly. Plus, they have all these strict safety protocols in place.
Of course, yeah.
So everything goes according to plan, nice and smooth.
Okay, and then the steel structure goes in?
Yep, that's the next step.
So they put in this super strong steel support system.
Right, and they often use, get this, they call it traditional Minion coating.
What is that exactly?
It's a special coating they put on the steel that's been used for, forever.
Okay. What's so special about it?
Well, it protects the steel from rust and moisture.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, especially in the Netherlands with all that, dampness in the air.
Right.
So this coating, it's like extra protection to make sure that steel lasts a long, long time.
So they're not just thinking about making the space look nice?
Nope.
They're thinking about how to make it last.
Exactly. Long-term thinking.
Smart. Okay, so what happens after they put in the steel?
Right. So last but not least, they do all the cleanup and finishing work.
So it's not just like, okay, we're done, see ya.
Oh no, they don't leave you with a mess.
Good.
They remove all the debris, clean up the whole site.
Nice.
And then they do all those finishing touches like fireproofing the new steel beam.
Oh, right. Important.
Yeah, and they'll even restore any aesthetic details that might have gotten messed up during the process.
So they make sure everything looks as good as new, basically.
Yep, back to its former glory, but with a brand new open space.
That's amazing. They really take care of everything from start to finish. I mean, knowing how much goes into these transformations makes you really appreciate the level of expertise they have.
Absolutely. It's a real art combining that technical skill with a creative vision.
Totally. And it makes you think, what kind of space could you create in your own home?
Right.
If you could, just get rid of that wall that's been bugging you.
Yeah, what kind of possibilities would open up?
It's exciting to think about. You could have a much bigger kitchen and dining area, or maybe combine 2 small rooms into one big living space.
Right. Or even just create a whole new flow throughout the house.
Yeah, it's amazing what they can do. Well, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into Lucky Construction.
Yeah, I think we've covered a lot.
Hopefully y'all learned something new about their process.
Yeah, and maybe got some inspiration for your own renovation dreams.
Definitely. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.